Welcome everyone again. I I want to welcome us to another beautiful time here on the Fire Dog Show. This is where we talk everything about money, finances when it comes to our financial future. My name is Lola Wealth, and I am super excited to be here with you, spending this lunchtime for some of us, and also for some people it is morning, and for some people it is evening. I know we have a global audience. So I want to really welcome everyone again to this beautiful time here we are spending together. So as you know, or as you have seen, that today's topic is really something that it touches every one of us, right? So either you know it or not, you are living a life because money touches everything in our lives. Money touches everything, and we are talking about designing your wealth designing your wealth and not by default. We are living our life, we are spending money, we have resources. So there's wealth that we have, either we know it or not. It's called wealth by design. Wealth by design. If you are not intentional about it, it is wealth by default. And that is what we are talking about today. All right. So wherever you are joining me from, I want you to put it in the chat. For some of us, I want to welcome us. If you are here and this is your first time, welcome to this community. And if you're a returning community member, you've been here, maybe you've been on the show one or twice, I want to say thank you so much for joining us. And for a lot of us that are going to be watching this replay, I want to say thank you so much as well. But put in the chat, put in the comments where you are joining us from. I want to see it. I want to read your comments. So let me pull it up. So put in the chat, where are you joining us from? Where are you joining us from? Canada, US, Nigeria, and I know some people are joining us from LinkedIn, while we have some audience on YouTube. So anywhere you are joining us from or on any platform, this is a masterclass with me, Lola Wealth, on reclaiming your future. Reclaiming your future by designing your wealth. Every one of us, we are designers. We are designers. So know that within the short period, 20, 30 minutes, and it might not be that. And we might even have like a bonus class on this, depending on what, the feedback from you, every one of us, depending on our feedback and depending on the kind of question that will be coming in today, we might have a bonus session, on how we design our wealth, because this is really important. And throughout for the rest of the year, and also even the rest of the decade. And for some of us that want to retire, let's say 2030, we already know that we have a date to it. Guess what? We have to be even more intentional, because every day counts for us. Do you see? So in designing that life that we want, in every decision, in every action, it is moving the needle towards achieving that goal, and for us to even reach that goal and be successful about it. So I want to welcome every one of us, and to my team members, and also to Toby behind the scene. Thank you so much. It's always a joy working with you, and also making everything work together like oil machine. So I want to say thank you so much as well. All right. Yeah. I know you know me. My name is Lola Oyumi. I'm fondly called Lola Wealth. I'm a wealth system architect, and I'm a retired at 40 ex-Microsoft leader. So I am capable, and by the grace of God, I have a lived experience, so I can speak on this topic and I can help you. What I do is now helping and driven professionals that are six figures earner. You are earning well. My goal is to help you come out of that corporate 3 to 5 years. I'm telling you, if that is your goal, you are in the right place. All right. So let's get into it. So let me quickly pull up. Yeah. So today we are not going to be using any. We're not going to be using any slide. Seriously, we're just going to be, having this conversation, and of course, put your question in the chat. I'm going to be looking at questions. I'm going to be looking at what's it called, your comment right in the chat. And also we have team members that is going to be even engaging in the chat as well. So, and also in the comment for people that are on YouTube, right? So I have the statistics that I would like to share, and I know that based on research, less than 30% of professionals, they feel that they have a clear path to financial freedom. Only less than 30%. And don't let that be you. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be you, part of that 70% that don't know. You must have a clear path, because looking at the data it was very humbling, I would say. Very humbling, because a lot of people know that I know I will retire. Even there are some people that I started to talk to them about retirement. They were like, it has never even entered my heart that I should retire before 65, right? No. But it is something that right now, because we're having this conversation, you can start to rethink it, or start to think about it like, do I actually have to start to leave by the time I say, yes, I'm done with workforce, or I'm done with marketplace, or I'm done with corporate? You must have a different view to this financial future of yours, or to your future where you desire to live. But you must come with a blueprint. You must have a blueprint, like, this is what, even some people, some of us, you love what you were doing. You love that corporate because you are at the center of God's purpose for you. So it's not that everybody must come out. No, but there are some of us that we know that we are just surviving. We would have loved to do something else. If money, if compensation, if benefits, if all of these are not in our way, what is it exactly that you want to do? What is it exactly that you want to do? And that is how you know. And that is why we are here as well. Do you see? So, and I know this, there are so many things really going on right now, even in terms of the economy, in terms of layoffs, and jobs are being replaced. People that are not on the cutting edge, guess what? They are at the risk of losing their job. Do you see? So now what we want to do is, we don't want you to be at the edge of another layoff. We don't want you to be part of the statistics that you are doing the job for many years and you are not being promoted. Having a 9 to 5, it's good, right? But while we are here, and what we'll say is, leaning on single paycheck is fragility, or is fragile. It's just like somebody is staying on one-legged stool. So I know that you know what you were doing. You've been on this part for a while. You've been on that your job for a couple years. You've been doing it. You've amassed experience, right? You've amassed skills. You do that certification. You have even done your masters. You are even doing researches, and you keep adding to your skill and to your savviness in that subject, as a subject matter. But what is it translating to? When it comes to, is that how you want to continue? What other thinking? Because right now, having this conversation today is just helping you reshape that thinking. That you don't want to be on by default, on just, what your HR set up for you, the 401k, and you're putting your minimum, you're getting your match, and you spend whatsoever is left, and you are okay. That is the default life when it comes to wealth by default. But wealth by design is now, you now have all your financial landscape, and you now begin to look into it. My home, my family, my nutrition, my health, my children, my work, my business. You now look into every one of them. What exactly do I want to achieve in this area when it comes to my finances? When it comes to even expenses, what income is coming in? How much am I willing to put on each of this area of my life for me to be? Remember, the goal is you are living on your own terms. That is the goal. You want to live your best life as possible, unapologetically. And let me share with you what default life is. And I think I've shared that as well, in the beginning. What default life look like is this. You wake up, you go to that job that you've applied for, you did interview for, you got that job, and you are going into it. You get the promotion that was offered. You follow the path laid out for you. Like, this is the hierarchy. When you come in as entry level, then you get into associate, and then you get into manager, and that part is already laid for you. And it feels safe. But is that a part of your career, and that is how you want it to be? But when the door is closed, you remember that the path is now reacting to expenses, because there are some expenses that you have built your life around because of the lifestyle that you are living based on that job that you are doing. Wherever there is a changes in your job, guess what? You now have changes in job. You are reacting to the changes in your job. You are reacting to life, reacting to families. But you are not living life on your own terms. You are not. Is that what you really want? Or there is another way to think about it? I don't want you to float. I don't want you to float. If that is where you are today, is now the right time to begin to think, how can I live my life with intention, not on autopilot? How is it that I'm not going to drift from what the dream life that I desire? And let me now tell you what the real life by design or wealth by design is. I know the path is not easy, because every time once you put a mind into like, this is the intention, guess what? There's going to be destruction. There's going to be forces against what you want to really achieve. So the path to wealthy life by design, it's not easy. It requires effort. It requires effort. It requires that every time you have to be clear that this is where you are going. You have to be action bias, because it is proactive. The life by design is proactive, not reactive. We don't react. Of course, we respond to things, but it's a proactive, like you determine it. You are intentional about it. That life, the wealthy life by design doesn't end just like the way life by default ends at the place of your job. That the door closes, or the door ends, because every time we talk about wealth, remember that 5 streams of wealth we talked about last week, right? So you're not just having only one stream of income, and that if you have only one stream of income and it's just your 9 to 5, that is when the door will close, because you are living by default. But life by design, it ends in an open horizon where you determine the direction and the speed by yourself. So that is what, in the next few minutes, those are the things that I'm going to be sharing with you. So I really want you to, begin to think about when it comes to designing my life. Just take a moment right now. Think about it. I know there are some, we talk about, and I'm going to be talking about it, like the mindset shift. And few things around, not spending what is left, now being intentional about where you put those money. And also when it comes to the 12 areas of your life, I really like to teach on this as well, because a lot of us, we are just successful just only in our job or in our place of work, and in every other areas we are just, we are just living it on autopilot, when what God has done for you is to live a life that is well-rounded and a successful life, and you are living on your own, on your own terms. Every time we talk about life design, guess what? We are talking about system. We talk about systems. And from the beginning of this month, we've been talking about progressive prosperity. And there is no way we'll talk about progressive prosperity when we don't talk about system. You have to design the system and you have to build it. So you're not just designing, being an architect, but we are designing. If you are living your life by default, guess what? You are designing by default. And that is no design. That is no design. That is no design. That is hoping. And hope is not a strategy. And I know that I say this a lot. You hoping that things will get better. I hope that by the end of the month or by next month, I am going to be I'm going to start putting money here. I'm going to start doing it, someday, before the end of this year. No, hope is not a strategy. For a better future, hope is not a strategy. Of course, we have hope, and our prayers are we are not going to lose our hope. We trust God. We are putting plans together. We have goals, but the main thing is for a better future that we want to channel in the place where it's taking us in the purpose and the direction of where God wants us to be. Guess what? We have to be intentional about it. And you see that I keep saying this word over and over. And it's just because I want you to think about it for a moment. You cannot build a structure that stands by accident. It's not possible. Design requires intentionality. It requires intention. Have you seen architects? Do you see when they sit down with their plans, with their paper, and they are like really figuring out where is this bathroom going to be? Where is this roof going to be? Do you see how detailed they are? That is how we should be when it comes to our own life. Design requires intentions. It requires blueprint. So in Fired Up Movement, we talk about that. We treat your wealth and your life as the ultimate engineering project. That is how I teach. That is how I treat mine. Like, yes, my life is really an engineering project. My life is this like plain plan, canvas that I have to put intention, put thought into how I live my life. Default is not a state. Remember what we're talking about. Default is not a state. So I'm not going to give you, this and that. And of course, we're going to, have some declaration afterwards. But default is not a state. It is a lack of design. Default is a lack of design. So how are we going to make this applicable to us? It starts from our day. How we wake up in the morning, even if you have a 10-year goal. You remember, even here in the Fired Up Movement community, most of us, our goal is always, the next 1 year, the next 3 years, the next 7 years, the next 10 years. We put a marker into this is when I want to be financially free. This is when I want to be when I want to achieve my financial independence. It's always a future thing, but the future will not jump and meet you. The future, every day, every action you take day by day is what will accumulate or accumulate to form that future that you are envisaging, or the future that you are seeing. So every day counts. From today, from this very present, begin to build one action after another, one block over another. Begin to build. You are an architect. Wealth by design. Design your wealth by intention, by not being reactive, but being proactive. Do you see? So let me quickly talk about the first thing, which is your mindset. The mindset. mindset, you have to overcome that self-limiting belief. And this is a multi-billion industry, I would say, because we always we minimize the importance of what mindset in our life, until when I started getting into this. And we've even had that conversation, myself and Toby, had that conversation around, immediately you start to have this kind of conversation, and you start to think about, oh, I cannot do that thing, oh, this has happened to me, and I begin to live in that past. That is the limiting belief. Those are the things that is going to really block you from moving ahead. So irrespective of your financial story, or what you grew up with in terms of how your parents treat money, or how your relationship with money, is still what sitting down and challenge every of your thoughts around money, your relationship about money, your belief system about money, right? The biggest default thought is, I can't afford to build a system. Some of us, you say that, is it not somebody that has extra money that can be thinking of this? Some of us, that system, when we're talking about system, is a big grammar, like, oh, you have to have something. It starts from even having a notepad like this, having a system of what comes in, what goes out, recording it is a system. And remember, system is what you now begin to do over and over, and you're achieving result. You have to build a system. So don't count yourself out and say, oh, it is for some people, or it is for some people that have a financial acumen, or it is for this kind of people. No. You can afford to build a system. So you rethink and you reshape that word. Some of us, the limiting belief is, I just need to earn more money. I don't have more. People that can save or that are investing, there are people that are earning more. No, you have to change that with the little you have. And this one held me back for a very long time myself. You must change your belief from income seeker to asset builder. That word alone, I want you to write it down. And I have a lot of them here from my book. How you turn and you shape your thinking from being just an employee, and then turn it into ownership. And I know we talked about this, I think 3 weeks ago as well. Change your mindset from income seeker to asset builder. No matter how small, start from somewhere. You are an asset builder. Say, I am an asset builder. I want you to put it in the chat that I am an asset builder. And you have to reinforce this word over and over. I want to see it in the chat. I am an asset builder. I am an asset builder. That one belief system and so many other belief system that has held you back, you want to challenge them. All right. The second thing I want you to take out of today's conversation is the other part of it. And I know that different pieces at different point, a different time in different time in the past, we've talked about this. And this is the wealth system architect part. We talk about saving, and it's not just you having a savings account, because money you are saving is money that you are leaving to be spent in the future. So if you are just having savings, it's just money that is sitting and waiting to be spent. But when you talk about the wealth system architecture, it's about automating. And that one, you have to do it yourself. You have to be the one to call the bank to say, oh, anytime this amount enter into my account, take this certain percentage and put it in this kind of portfolio or in this kind of account. That is the strategic system we're talking about. Strategic system. You are a wealth architect. So we are not just teaching, do this and do this. Today, write 1 or 2 things you are going to do to move you forward in becoming that wealth architect yourself with what you have right now. Do you see? Automate it and begin to research. Even no matter how small, even you have AI. AI will tell you, okay, I have $50. I want to invest in so. I'm in this part of the country. What should I do? Where should I do? Which company? What rate of return, or ROI? Can I have this long term? What is my risk? All of these things. AI can even suggest. Not that AI will help you do it, but it will suggest names. You will now go on Google. You will now research it. Even AI will even give you references such that you will have to. You will reduce the amount of time you are looking for information and searching. But guess what? You are going to visit that website for that company. You are going to look at the history. How has been their stock for the last 15 years, 20 years? How has been their growth? Are they public? You want to go. You're an architect. You want to make sure that you look into everything before you even start to invest. So use the power of AI to give you that information. Consume it. Do your due diligence and start something this month. Progressive prosperity. So there must be something that will change for you this month. I am taking those steps myself. Like in the month of April, what significant step did I take that helps me as a wealth architect? That is what I'm doing for myself. Do you see? So for you too, for your family, if you are married, filing jointly, or you have joint account, or you are putting all your money together, or if you're single, if you are whatsoever your marital status is, do something that will move the needle for you or for your family this month, and of course going forward. But our theme this month is progressive prosperity, and that's why I am really emphasizing on you have to take one particular step and have that asset allocation. You have that, establish that income stream. We talk about 5 streams of income: your active, your passive, your experiential, your skill, your protection, because what you are having, you have to protect it. And then the designing this life that you want. Let's say that part of the things I wanted to share with you today, and I'm not sure if we're going to get into it, is that, let's say that you desire to change your car. You've been using this car for a while and all of that, and you want to change it. And you pray over it, and you have a particular car in your mind, and you went online, or you went to the dealership, and you go there to know how much that is. Guess what? You are taking a step of faith. So, okay, they tell you that the car is a 40,000, whatsoever it is. Okay, you write it down. You can get the picture. You can have it in your vision board, right? And then you now ask different option around. Well, if I trade in my current car, what will it cost me? If if you are buying full, like you're putting in all the money, if I'm getting a loan, ask different option. And once you have that, guess what? It now becomes your goal. Every dollar, every money that comes in, if you want to now save it, guess what? You are now saving towards your dream. That is the designing. And of course, some people will say, oh, it's just desire. It's not just desire, but there is a kind of, like, let's say that your car is even okay, but there is a kind of particular car that I watch. Okay, for example, I watch this School of Hard Knocks, and I think I've shared that story before. And there's this guy that has boats, and is very wealthy. But it was teaching us about how we can have a lasting and a legacy wealth. And the guy was like, oh, do you see this boat? I've seen many people that want to buy this boat. It's something, and he mentioned the version, and he said, I'm not buying it. In fact, I asked somebody that put 130 million, that I'm not selling it. But what I told myself, because I have this particular one that I want to buy, and by the time I sell this one, I will not sell this one until I have the money to buy this one, or something like that. And I was just like, if a multi-millionaire or billionaire, I think he's a billionaire, if a billionaire can have this kind of goal to say, oh, this is how I am thinking about my next level. He already had a boat, and the boat was good. But he was like, oh, because there is a new one and all of that, this is what, if I achieve this, my revenue goal, I'm going to buy this one. Then I will sell this one. Do you see? And I was just like, I learned so much from that. Like, oh, it's only struggling middle class that always go for the shiny things, and you living on debt and all of that. I was like, okay, this is not going to be me. I'm going to, whatsoever I desire, I'm going to plan around it by God's grace, and I'm going to release my faith for it and go to work to get it. And some of these things, some of them we by the grace of God, maybe you have somebody that give them to you, but at least you have to enter your mind first. Do you see? So I went into that conversation because I am sensing some people might be thinking, oh, what does this life by design? How do we even, really enter into it? It starts from you. It starts from what kind of life do you want? What particular thing do you desire? Do you see? Once you have that desire in your heart, it has to enter your heart first. And then you release your faith for it, right? And then you begin to like, oh, what do I do? What can I do? What value can I bring to humanity? Who can I help? Right? Then you now begin to work towards it. And of course, there are so many other things. We have purpose-driven action that we have to take. We have our shield of protection, which I have all of them here. But for the sake of our conversation today, we are going to wrap it up, in just going with with these words that we already have around really coming out of life by default, living life on autopilot, and coming out and be intentional about my wealth. So today's conversation is, please, let's be more intentional about what kind of life do I want. And you have to sit yourself down and not just desire it and dream it. You have to put it down in writing. That is how to activate wealth by design. You put it down in writing. Begin to track what is coming in. Begin to track what is going out. To the penny is growing. I don't like doing that. But you have to, because that is God himself. Remember, and I shared this story as well. I've shared it here. The talent, the parable of the talent, the one that had 5, the one that had 2, and the one that had 1. It's resources. Resources is being given to you. How are you stewarding it? And if you are faithful with little, God will give you more. God will give you more. And it starts from buying pen, buying a cup, buying this, and putting it down. Do I need this subscription? Do I have to do this? Do I have to pay for this? Do you see? I hope this has really blessed you. I hope you're going to take one step today. If you are not going to take one, take two. If you're not going to take two, take one step. Take something out of today's conversation. Challenge your belief system. Challenge what has been blocking you. That thing that does not make you earn more than this particular, or make your account balance be more than this particular. No matter what, even if you do any job or you had commission, it will always come back to this oscillating kind of balance, account balance all the time. That is a belief system. Believe bigger. Believe bigger for a bigger account. Believe bigger for a major breakthrough. Believe bigger in terms of entering into the next level of your wealth. All right. My prayer is that God is going to help every one of us. I have, I want you to continue to declare. Let me see. Let's declare. I have some declaration here. Yes, wealth by design. All right. So this is really good. This is really good. Did you have? Let me see. Okay. Thank you, everyone that joined. Yes, Alayola. Thank you. I'm seeing some people, and I know that a lot of people will still join here. Thank you. So I have. I want us to read the affirmation from here. We might not finish all the affirmations because the affirmations are really long. Yes, it's called here. If you have this book, it's chapter 7. The bedazzled life by design. The bedazzled life by design. All right, so let's get into the affirmation. Father, I thank you because my life will not happen by default. It unfolds by divine design. I am the architect of a purposeful, prosperous, and peaceful life. With clarity of vision and discipline of spirit, I design the life that I desire and the life that I deserve. I decree that my life is designed with clarity, with intention, and is never left to chance or by default. I refuse to drift through destiny. Every day, I build deliberately, guided by divine direction. I declare that my money aligns with my vision. Money serves me. My finances serve me. They do not master me. I am no longer enslaved by hustle or by fear. I am led by precision, led by purpose, and led by peace. I affirm that every decision I make today and even going forward, they all shape the abundant life that I will live from today. My habits are holy blueprint. My plans are prophetic pattern. I move with sight, with foresight, and I act with faith. I confess that I reject a life of default and a life of autopilot, but I embrace a designed life, a life that is crafted with meaning, with peace, with joy, with freedom, with legacy. I refuse mediocrity. I want you to say this. I refuse mediocrity. I choose mastery. I refuse chaos. I choose clarity. I decree that I design systems that sustain both my wealth and my well-being. Amen and amen. All right. I know you have declared this by faith. You can still, rewind this for people that, for all of us that we're going to watch this. I myself, I'm going to rewatch this as well, to go, even feast more on some of those things that I've shared today. But I want to wish you a beautiful weekend. We can start from tomorrow. And then as you are going with this mind that, yes, things are going to be rigged in your favor. God is going to favor you. God is going to bless you and bless the work of your hands. He is the one that has given us the ability to make wealth, and is going to give you the ability, and you're going to use it for his glory. Amen and amen and amen and amen. All right. Thank you so much. It's been a joy, sharing this moment with you again. Until I see you, I meet with you, I come on this platform again next week. God's willing, God is going to spare our life. Bye for now, and stay blessed, stay fired up.